Hey everybody, welcome back to Row Country. Today I'm bringing you this $3 DIY. It's a Dollar Tree DIY metal flower spring decor. We're going to start with this metal welcome sign from the Dollar Tree. Also, I picked up one of these stretched canvases from the Dollar Tree in an 8x10 size. And then also these magnetic buttons. Sorry folks. Okay, so that's our $3. Now in addition, I'm going to use Waverly's chalk paint in white, ink, ocean, and maize. I'm going to use one of the Dollar Tree paint trays and some Dollar Tree paint brushes. I also had on hand this walnut stain from Americana Brand, and then my glue gun glue sticks. I'm going to need a straight edge and some pliers. The pliers here, we're going to use that to loosen that chain. We're going to remove the flower and we're going to put that welcome sign aside for another day. Now go ahead and put aside also that flower, and now we're going to start working on this 8x10 stretch canvas. So as normal, we're going to just flip it over and use this straight edge to cut on the far side of the staples closest to the edge, but not all the way over the edge. And then we're going to do that all the way around and remove the canvas. Put that aside. We're going to use it in this DIY. Now go ahead and cut away what's remaining. I noticed that my staples came out very easily, but I did use my pliers to also remove them all the way around. Now you'll have two sides, the side where the staples were and the sides where they weren't. I'm going to sand this entire piece because I want my stain to take very well. And we're only going to actually be staining the front of that frame that's left over. Now I wanted something dark, but and I thought that ocean chalk paint would be perfect for my decor, but when I put it down, I noticed that it was a little more purpley blue than a navy dark blue that I wanted. So I thought, why don't I just go ahead and bring in some of my ink chalk paint, and I put down probably about a quarter of a teaspoon, into that little tray there, and then I brought in some of my ocean chalk paint, and I just eyeballed it and really mixed it up very well. Now to mix paint, guys, it's really an eyeball thing for me. I never have specific measurements. I'm really going to try to get better about that, but I just mixed it up very well, and then I went back over the spot where I had already put down some of that ocean blue paint, and I noticed that is perfect for me. Now, I do want to note that given what is going on right now in our country, and I am in the U.S., I am using everything that I've had on hand. You know, first world problems, guys. I really am missing the Dollar Tree. I'm missing going and seeing what's in the stores. But I wanted to bring you a DIY. It's been a little while since I've felt creative, and this DIY today is brought to you by some things that I saw in a Facebook DIY group, and I thought I would go ahead and recreate it for my own decor. So since my decor is red, white, and blue, my sofa in my living room is more of a denim blue, and I usually use red, white, and blue accents, but this time I thought I would bring in something a little different. But because I do have that denim look on my couch, I wanted a denim looking background for this particular DIY. So the mixture of the ocean and that ink really brought out a deep, dark, almost, your nice blue jeans, I guess. So nice and dark for that. Now for the flower, I wanted to bring in yellows, and I've never done this before. So I'm going to use this maize color and also the white chalk paint, and I'm going to mix up an ombre effect of colors. So what I did was I used my paintbrush, and I loaded my paintbrush on the front, and then I offloaded it into the tray, and I did one loading per color. So that's 1, 2 there, and then on the third one I took down about 2/3 of that, and then I have just that little bit left on the fourth, and I went ahead and dropped that down into the tray. Then I went and I cleaned my paintbrush and came back, and what I'm going to do is mix this maize from dark to light. So I brought in actually 3 loads of this brush for the darkest color, and then I'm going to go 2 loads just like this, and then I'll stop with one sort of load there, but it's going to be about 2/3 of that one load. It's going to leave me about a third left on that brush, and I'm going to drop that down into the 4th spot. And then I'm going to start to mix from the lightest to the darkest because I don't want to intermix those colors. And I just took the back of a paintbrush and I started in the lightest color and mixed it all together until everything mixed until I really liked the way that it looked. It's okay if you have a little bit of the streaky yellow left over. That's okay too, especially for this farmhouse country look that I go for. But as you can see here, as I push this away, those did darken up, and they will continue to darken up as they sit there. Now, given that this flower is such a dark color, it's almost autumn colors to me, I decided that I was going to go ahead and lift the petals up and away from each other, and then I'm going to go ahead and give this a really nice coverage with Waverly's white chalk paint to go ahead and give it a base coat. You can skip this part if you want to, but I felt for the yellows that I was using, it would probably be better to be safe than sorry. So I'm going to go ahead and give this one coat again of the Waverly white chalk paint. And so while I'll do that, I want to go ahead and invite you, if you're new here, to go ahead and hit subscribe. It's down in the corner there, and become a member of the Row Country family here on YouTube. I would certainly love to have you. We are at over 1,000 subscribers, guys. My channel's growing, and I really appreciate your support. And I just want to say hi to those of you returning. Again, your support means everything to me, and I can never thank you enough. Please do like this video if you like this type of content so that I know to keep bringing it to you. And also share this video with friends or family so that they know what's going on in Row Country. So we went ahead and we got everything painted, and I just used that little dollop of glue to close up the holes in the flower that that they used to hang from. And now we'll go ahead and set that aside, and we'll bring back in the frame from the stretched canvas. And now I'm using this walnut color stain. Now, what I want to say is I really considered putting this stain down on this, and it's so pretty how this stain takes to this stretched canvas. I was very impressed with it. But what I thought I would do afterwards was bring in back like a whitewash, because I am more country farmhouse than I am any other decor. But I decided, I really like this stain, the color of this stain, and my tabletops in my living room are dark walnut color with a light base. And I also kind of think, when I look at this color, of really nice autumn boots, like those knee-high brown boots that you wear with your jeans. And I thought, oh yeah, jeans and boots. Yeah, I cannot seem to get away from that, even though it is spring right now in Row Country, y'all. So I decided, for me, I am going to leave it this dark stain, but you could definitely stain this and then go back over it with a whitewash if that'll go better with your decor. Didn't that turn out pretty? I just love the richness of that. So we'll bring back the flower now, and we're going to get working on that. And I'm going to work from the darkest yellow to the lightest. And you see how there is a difference in the yellows, but it's very subtle. And I wanted that. I didn't want a really, stark ombre effect. I wanted something that would really kind of flow together. So for me, I started with the darkest color, and that is going on the back petals of this flower. And I'm going to do that all the way around, and then we'll start bringing in the rest of the yellows, and we'll work our way up. So the second darkest will go on that second bit of petals. The third darkest will go in the center and around those others. And then the lightest yellow, I decided to go ahead and use as I guess what would be the stamen inside of the flower. You'll see as we go. I use actually just a really fine paintbrush to go ahead and put those dots in the center. So as I go ahead and start bringing in that third lightest color on this flower, I just wanted to say I am so sorry that I've been absent for a little while. It's been a minute since I've done a video. I think just with everything going on right now, I haven't felt creative and I haven't felt like I've been able to be creative. I don't know why that is. I think it's sort of, you know, I just worry about everybody, and I really hope that you all are doing your part in social distancing if you can. And if you are an essential worker, God, thank you so much for what you're doing. These are strange and scary times, and I just really wish everyone well. I hope that you all are doing really well and staying safe and staying healthy. So like I said, we went ahead with those three those three layers of yellow. And now I'm going to bring in a really fine paintbrush and go ahead and start putting in some dots in the very center of this flower. It's going to be a very subtle look, but as I bring you in and show you, really close up, as I'm going to do here at the end of this video, you'll see where those dots lie. And really what I did was I would just take my pinky finger and sort of put it and rest it against one of the petals and then sort of drop a dot of paint down in the center. And I thought that would just give it a little bit of, lighter color right there in the middle, and then also just a little bit more dimension, as you can see here. Really loving how the light plays off that yellow. It's so pretty. So coming back to our stretch canvas now, this dark, deep blue, that denim blue look, that really turned out so pretty. It's lighter than a navy, but it's almost a navy blue. And I went ahead and just took some hot glue and went all the way around the edge of that frame, and then we put it back down onto the stretch canvas along that natural seam that it leaves when it is stretched over the canvas. You can sort of see here as I turn that back onto itself. And now I'm just going to take a good pair of scissors and cut along the edge and all the way around to cut away the excess of this, and that's what that looks like. Now I'm just going to sort of figure out where I want this in the center, and look how that flower pops off of this. That is absolutely gorgeous. Honestly, I mean, I'm not just patting myself on the back, guys. This turned out so much prettier than I thought it would. And I really like the idea that you could put it in either orientation, straight up and down or side to side. If you decide to use this in like a gallery wall, you have options here. And one thing that really makes this a great option is the fact that I did go ahead and use magnets on this. Now, you could just hot glue the flower down in the center and say, I'm done, and you would be done, and that would be fine. But I decided I wanted to actually make this a little more of a versatile piece for me. Maybe bring in a different kind of flower or color of flower when the summertime comes. So I'm going to use magnets. Now I did go ahead and bring in a ruler here. I did try to get as close to the center as possible, and that's important because you don't want your flower to be off center, and you don't want it to, you want it to look symmetrical. So I went ahead and measured it out, and then I'm just going to take a piece or a little dot of hot glue, and I'm going to drop that down on there. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take two of these and hot glue them together. And the reason I need to is because on that flower, there is an indentation. And now we just want to make sure that we're going to, when we put this on the flower, we want to be sure that it's glued to the flower in the proper way, because this is what happens with magnets if you didn't know. There's a polarization with them. And you see how that flipped? I made that nice and slow so you could see how it flips before it actually magnetizes to its other self or the other magnet. And that's because there's a polarization there. And if you have these glued to the flower the wrong way, it's going to resist the magnet. It's not going to adhere to it. And because that indentation is there in the center of that flower on the back, I needed two magnets in order for it to go ahead and actually connect to the one on the canvas. I hope that makes sense. So I glued two together, I checked the polarization on it, and then I glued the two that I glued together to the flower, and that's what it looks like. And this is what it looks like in different lighting. This is I mean, did you just catch that? It was like very yellow, and as you come closer to it with some different lighting, it sort of mutes out and becomes a muted yellow. That's what I love about this Waverly chalk paint. Plus the fact that it gives you this, you know, there's some variation there, but there's also some texture with it. So these flowers that were metal are now looking just absolutely gorgeous. Like, to me, they look like carved butter. But there it is again with that distance shot. It gets more and more deeper in the yellow color than it is muted when you're up close and personal with it. And I absolutely love how this came out. There's the up and down orientation for you. And then coming up, of course, is the left to right orientation. I guess, I don't know, 8 by 10 or then 10 by 8. But this is what it looks like, guys. And I really hope that you like it. This was my $3 DIY Dollar Tree DIY metal flower spring decor. While you're here, go ahead and watch another video. And don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, as soon as I can start feeling creative again, guys, I'll see you then. Bye.